All right, guys, good morning to you. Colton Woods here. And I don't know if you are somebody like myself that wants to have more freedom. You want to be able to cut some strings loose and be able to feel like you can move through your life with more freedom. If you are, I'm going to share with you guys a quick story and a principle with you this morning that will tie all this together and hopefully serve you in your daily life. So let's go ahead and just start with the story. All right. I got to introduce you to someone or something. All right. And that is, I'm not in my truck, right? I am sitting in our little town car. It is a Prius, and we fondly refer to the Prius as Patsy, the Palomino Prius, right? Patsy goes to work every day. Patsy hauls hay, you can see, right? Patsy is like a glorified golf cart, okay? And this car has served us extremely well. And if I look down here on my screen, and Patsy's got some miles on her, right? You know, we found a good deal on Patsy a couple years ago, had low miles. We still had to, we had to put some investment into her and all that good stuff. But Patsy's reading that she gets an average of 43 miles to the gallon right now, all right? And that kind of fluctuates between 43, 45 miles to the gallon, which is amazing considering that we have to balance out the diesel truck that we also drive, okay? And so the thing about Patsy is that Patsy's extremely efficient. Patsy knows when to invest energy and when to invest effort, means burning gas versus actually just recharging the battery, and when she's actually just gonna run 100% off the battery, and I get to watch that little dial go all the way up to over 100 miles a gallon because just reusing the battery's energy that was generated when we were burning the gas, okay? So Patsy has a system and is very methodical about when we're going to invest the gasoline and when we're going to use the energy and when we're not going to use any energy at all, and basically sounds like the car shuts off, right? So we can learn something extremely important from Patsy, and the principle that I integrate into my daily life that I want to share with you is that you want to regularly audit what and with whom you are emotionally investing in, right? Because every single day you have things that you invest your time and your effort and your energy into. Some things take a lot of that time, effort, and energy, right? That could be your kids, and investing that in your kids is a worthy investment. Some of those kids might take a little bit more than others, but then you have other things like your morning routine, right? You're putting time, effort, and energy into that morning routine. But if you have a systemized morning routine, you may not even think about when the things that you're doing when you're going through them, right? Unless you're meditating and hopefully you're being a little more present in that moment. But you have things in your life that just work like clockwork, and they're highly efficient. They serve you. They give you a positive return on that investment, which is really, really important. But then we have other things in our lives. It could be situations. It could be people. It could be environments, right? And these can be, and we're going to talk about the small things, right? Because if there are big things that are happening, they probably need to be addressed head on. But there's a lot of small things. We make thousands and thousands and thousands of decisions in our lives every single day, right? And we have to audit what's happening, right? When a little small situation pops up, when someone, enters into your ecosystem, we have to audit, is this worth my time, effort, and energy? And so many people deal with all these little small petty things, right? And it takes a lot of time, effort, and energy. And we haven't even integrated the emotional side, right? Because as soon as you become emotionally invested in something, that requires, it could be 10 times the amount of time, effort, and energy, right? When emotions get involved, things get blown up. They multiply in the amount of power that they have. And when emotions get involved, those can be extremely positive emotions, right? If you have a really great relationship with your spouse, with your kids, like having those emotional connections is extremely important. But I'm talking about the things that we get emotionally invested in that get us upset, that get us angry, that get us frustrated, right? And then it ends up making us tired, it makes us cranky. It dribbles into the important relationships that we have in our daily lives. And that's why it's so important that you regularly audit with whom and what you are investing your emotional energy in, right? This car does not, fortunately, it doesn't have emotions, but it does not waste energy, right? If it starts wasting energy, then I need to take it to the mechanic and we need to get that system calibrated, right? But it's not doing that, which is amazing, right? In our lives, if you are investing emotional energy into things that are draining you, into those petty situations, a lot of times either you're looking down the scope of a microscope and you're really focused on this little tiny situation and you lose the big picture. You lose the big picture and the importance, the purpose, the meaningful things that you're actually moving towards. And sometimes that happens. It happens to all of us, right? Where we get consumed on these little bitty things that end up taking way too much from us. The other thing is that if you are living life every day and you're like, man, I am constantly getting pulled from one thing to the next, emotionally just drained because I am emotionally invested in this and I'm emotionally invested in that. And, I see this with horse owners that only own one horse, right? Because their whole world revolves around one horse versus when you talk with professionals that are caring for 10, 15, 20, 30 horses, it's very efficient, very practical, very logical in the way that they take care of those horses because they have a big picture to look at. And they don't get emotionally invested into these little bitty details that don't make a whole lot of difference, right? And so, or they know how to handle those little bitty details and they can be very, very pragmatic about it. And that's important that we can operate in our own lives the exact same way. So if you're somebody that is getting way lost in these little bitty things and you're getting emotionally invested into something that really can be considered petty, right? And this is where it's really important that you have friends in your circle that you can bounce something off of and then go like, hey, it is not worth your time. It is not worth your energy. You need to, cut it and move on, right? And that's what's so important. That's with people, that's with places, that's with environments, that's with certain opportunities where you decide whether it's worth it or if it's not, and you move the heck on. And you've got to keep doing that because either you're looking down the lens of that microscope and you've lost the big picture, or maybe your goals aren't big enough. Maybe you don't have a big enough vision for what you're actually could be working towards. And if you don't have a big enough vision, if your goals are not big enough, then you're going to invest that time, effort, and energy into things that will not move you forward, right? This car, I do not have to, it has to be investing its energy in things that literally can move me forward, right? In my life, it's the exact same way. There are things that pop up that you have to deal with, but deal with them and move on. Do not waste that time, effort, and energy any more than you need to, because if you're putting it in there, you're not able to invest it into what can actually move your life forward towards those bigger goals, those bigger dreams, and the bigger purpose that you're actually put on this earth to do. So that's what you can learn from Patsy, the Palomino Prius. Just like I said, she goes to work every day, hauling hay, getting things done. But remember, be efficient, be very strategic. Audit with whom and what you're investing your emotional energy. All right, and then go out there and share this with somebody. If you found this insightful, impactful, helpful to get your week started, or wherever you're listening to this, whether it's on the Heart of Horsemanship podcast, on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook or Instagram, guys, share this with your friends. We're putting these messages out to help you in your daily life. A little just cowboy insight, what we do to run our businesses, to help other horse professionals in their lives, to help other horse owners just be able to make the most of our lives. As far as we know, we only have one of them, right? So don't get caught up on the petty stuff. Don't waste it on, your time, effort, and energy is extremely valuable. Invest it in your family, invest it in your communities, invest it in your businesses, your horses, the things that are really, really important to you. Don't let other people suck that out of you, right? And don't give it away freely, right? Use it, invest it wisely so that it can move you and your family and your horses forward towards those bigger goals and dreams. All right, guys, we'll catch you next time.